we're going to start the stream off by giving PS4 niggas another L. Nintendo signals primary development focus shift to the Switch 2 as Switch 1 owners uniformly are migrating. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Nintendo, the family-friendly platform, is doing what Sony is afraid of doing. Leaving you broke-ass, bitch-ass niggas in the fucking past. The Switch 2 has been out for 4 months. I repeat, 4 months. And Nintendo said, we've seen enough. We are now switching focus from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2. If you haven't gotten one already, oh well. And I love to see this. I wish Sony had the backbone to do this shit sooner. We'd be in a better place. A day after revealing its latest stellar sales figures, Nintendo has confirmed it will now shift its development focus to the Switch 2 and revealed that 84% of the console's early adoptees were players who owned the Switch 1. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Although I will say I am disappointed in Nintendo fans for complaining about the pricing structure of games on the Switch 2 and then going out and buying the Switch 2. One thing I will say about the Minish Cap Mafia, unlike you PlayStation niggas, they actually show up to buy something. PlayStation niggas love to sit in clubhouse rooms and Twitter spaces and talk about how Final Fantasy VII is the greatest RPG ever made. And then we look at the sales figures and nobody bought it. Hold on, y'all, hold on. Hold on, yeah, I gotta answer this call real quick. 1 second.
Your resub just reminded me to unsub from Poison Ivy's OnlyFans before Selena sees this month's bank statements.
Thanks for knocking the Sonic rings out that follow button.
Dad, don't ever pick up your phone when drunk women call. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. You shaking your head at your phone is killing me. Just like, bro, get off my phone. I'm wasting my unlimited minutes. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Nintendo is doing what Sony is afraid to do. They said we are doubling down on the Switch 2. This is the platform of the future. The Switch is damn near a 10-year-old console. It's going to hold back game development for us, and we want to double down and focus on our new platform, even though that platform is underpowered too. Which also would probably explain why they're probably focusing so much more on the Switch that much sooner. But, you know, you know that meme, the space meme, like what society would be like? Yeah, like, man. This one right here. This is what society would be like if we ditched the PS4 fucking 5 years ago, bruh. This is what it would be like. Thank God Nintendo is doing what fucking Sony isn't afraid to do. Now, the Switch 2's first 6 months have been marked by a smattering of exclusives such as Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, but also a series of paid upgrades to existing Switch 1 games like Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Bonanza Party Bonanza, and cross-title gens like Pokemon Zod and the upcoming Metroid Prime 4. Nintendo now appears to be suggesting that its future release slate will likely be more orientated to Switch 2 exclusives, likely buoyed by the huge success of its new machine. Perhaps it's not a surprise to see such a huge percentage of Switch 2 players upgrading from Nintendo's prior console, but what's interesting here is a breakdown provided by Nintendo showing how smoothly the company has picked up its early Switch 2 adoptees over the Switch generation, relatively even year by year. The largest group of Switch 2 players are those who bought the Switch 1 back at launch in 2017, but the group of those who acquired the Switch 1 in the following few years are not too different. Meaning the Minish Cap Mafia comes through. If you identify as a Minish Cap Mafia member, you are most likely to wait in line with a GameCube controller tied around your nipples, ready to buy the next Nintendo product, despite the lack of games, because you just want to see Nintendo win. Currently, 84% of Switch 2 owners transition from the Switch. Nintendo wrote, this high percentage shows that many consumers who enjoyed the Nintendo Switch are smoothly transitioning to the Nintendo Switch 2. I love the way they phrase that. They are smoothly transitioning to the Nintendo Switch 2. Guys, that's corporate talk for Nintendo niggas is not broke. Give it up for Nintendo niggas, man. I'll be honest, we should know Nintendo's niggas are not broke. Like, PlayStation niggas love to be judgmental and crack jokes and shit like that. But I don't think the average Nintendo nigga is broke, because not only do they own the platforms and they support them, but you got to keep in mind, Nintendo niggas usually have like Hyrule shields and swords on their wall as decorations. Them niggas got a fucking... If you go to the average Minish Cap Mafia's computer desk, their battle station, at their computer desk for a Minish Cap Mafia, on top of their monitor is going to be a Minish Cap. And then they're going to have probably like a soda, an energy drink, or like a coffee to the left. And after that, the rest of the desk is going to be the mouse, the keyboard, and just a shit ton of fucking amiibos. Matter of fact, don't ever play a first-person shooter with a Minish Cap Mafia member. You get into Battlefield 6 with them niggas' aims is probably just horrible, because it's just amiibos all over the desk. They bumping their elbow and shit like that, bruh. Yeah, they probably sitting on a blue shell up their ass. Yeah, they're probably wearing a Luigi cap and shit like that. But that's because they have extra money to spend. Something PS4 niggas can't relate to. So although I am disappointed because you guys went back on your word, at least your support is leading to Nintendo doubling down and supporting the platform that they just put out, which means we should probably see even more exclusives and good games coming in the next year or two, because that's what their focus is. And that's what I like to hear. When I buy a new platform, I want to play new things. I don't want to play the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. Amiibos, cookies, and Pokemon cards. Well, no, Pokemon cards wouldn't be all over the desk, because Pokemon cards are collectible now. Like, if they have Pokemon cards, they'll probably be on display, or they'll be in the closet, or they'll be doing like pack openings now, because now you guys are like fiends for opening fucking Pokemon cards and shit like that. It's more disposable income because their water bill is so low, they never wash their ass. That's real shit. That's real shit. But to be fair, like, yeah, Smash Bros players, they don't wash their ass, but like neither do Tekken players. Like, that's the entire FGC. That's a gaming problem. Other Nintendo news, Nintendo has stated their intention to acquire more development teams. Nintendo has provided the clearest indication yet that it intends to acquire more development teams to strengthen its internal development organization. The comment has been seen on page 54 of its latest financial report, in which Nintendo lays out the steps involved in utilizing funds to build the business foundation. It outright states that it plans to include initiatives such as acquiring development companies to make them subsidiaries, and augmenting our development facilities, and the construction of corporate headquarters development centers building number 2. This might, on the surface at least, go against Nintendo's statement last year, in which it said it would rather organically expand the organization over the acquisition of developers. Translation, last year they said they want to build more homegrown talent, but now they're talking about building a super team, Miami, LeBron type era, 2010 type shit. So while the latest reveal from the company appears to indicate a more aggressive stance, we can't imagine Nintendo suddenly going on a development shopping spree anytime soon. It's an interesting shift from the company, though, right? Could we perhaps see a team like Mercury Steam join the fold after its exceptional work on Metroid Dread? It's nothing but speculation on our part for now, but I think it's clear that more acquisitions will happen in the future. I don't see a world where like Nintendo becomes like Xbox, where like Xbox was just buying studio after studio after studio for like a good 2 years. But every once in a while, I can see them picking up a studio. What I will say is this something we really want? Because I'm not gonna lie. As much as I am thankful for Nintendo saving Bayonetta, I also can make the argument that Nintendo is the downfall of Bayonetta. Just hear me out. And I can see this happening. I can see this happening with other games.
To celebrate a young
It's like, yeah, Nintendo can buy studios, but it doesn't change the fact that Nintendo's hardware design philosophy is always creating a weaker platform in comparison to the competition to keep their prices down. Now, when your hardware is weaker in comparison to the competition, that means games aren't going to run as well and they're not going to look as well. So I mean, if they're buying studios out, let's say a world where, I'm not saying this is happening, but just hypothetical, right? Imagine a world where Nintendo buys CD Projekt Red, right? In Cyberpunk 2077 2 or The Witcher 4 comes out and they announce The Witcher 4 is now exclusive to the Switch 2. I'm not gonna lie, nigga. I'm going. Because Nintendo, the Minish Cap Mafia, they might be happy that they're now getting new exclusives to their platform. But at what cost? We're downgrading the games, you know? One of the reasons why Nintendo's able to get away with weaker hardware is because their games aren't visually as impressive, the first party games. Because they tend to focus more on style than they do like realistic visuals, which I think is a good thing for the most part. But when it comes to like these third party titles, that's why I always wish Nintendo, I feel like Nintendo could do both. I wish they would get away from this. If you put out stronger hardware, you can still give us the beautiful stylistic games that you guys like to make, but then also make it easier for third-party studios to port their games over to your platform without cutting any corners. It's the best of both worlds. But which is worse, Nintendo or PlayStation? Depends on what we're talking about. It's different strokes for different folks. I legit cringed hearing that. That's a hypothetical. I don't think CD Projekt Red would ever sell out to Nintendo. That was just the first studio that came to mind for whatever reason. But if Nintendo, like a more realistic thing, if Nintendo actually was going to buy more studios, it's going to be probably smaller indie studios that are cheaper to pick up, or studios that are in danger, kind of like what happened with or an IP that's in danger, kind of like with Bayonetta. That was in danger of being disappeared. That's why they were able to get it for cheap. And in exchange, we got
Your donation will
in exchange, we got Bayonetta 2, which was one of my favorite games of 2014.
They don't know why I locked
But then later down the road, we got Bayonetta 3, which was ass. I don't know what the fuck happened, bro. Yo, shout out to Kelly Jamming with the $5 super chat. He says, I'm watching the stream from my Switch 2. Shout out to you for watching from the Switch 2. Just make sure to charge it, put it on the charger, because you know you got about 20 minutes left on that thing because the battery dies real quick. And make sure not to sit it on your lap, because we've seen the reports. The Switch 2 will blow your fucking crotch off, man. You can cook a pizza on that bitch. Matter of fact, it's past preheated. That bitch is probably at 375, 400 on your lap. What up, KSR? So yeah, don't be surprised if Nintendo ends up picking up more studios. Let's see what else we got for you. PS5 cross-buy feature possibly leaked and could connect PS5 and PC games. Good PlayStation news.
I hate Disney, so I love.
Shout out to Unspeakable with the sub. Appreciate it.
Shout out to the new subscriber.
Leaving the job right now. Okay. Shout out to being employed. New images for a cross-buy system have been spotted on the PlayStation Store, sparking speculation that Sony might be looking to introduce cross-platform purchasing of some kind in the future. The graphics for this were spotted online by Amethyst on Twitter and corroborated by a reliable leaker, Dia Labs. According to Dia Labs, the cross-buy tags were added by Sony all the way back in June 2025, but the company's definition of this term could be unknown. For comparison, Microsoft offers a cross-buy feature where Xbox games can be played on PC and vice versa. Could Sony offer a similar deal, considering that has been more of its first-party games available on PC after a period of exclusivity on the PS5? That's unknown, but it is worth pointing out that Sony previously used cross-buy as a term for games sold during the PS Vita handheld era. If PS3 or PS4 owners purchased certain games back then you would get the PS Vita version for free, which is true. I have a PS Vita. I remember that. The one that comes to my mind off the top of my head was PlayStation All-Stars. I remember I bought PlayStation All-Stars on the PS3 and I got it on the Vita for free. Shit was great. Allowing them to access one game over multiple platforms, the service was eventually phased out, but at the same time, it's a major draw for the PS Vita owners. With the PS5 portable handheld also rumored to be in development, having some form of cross-buy that links between home and handheld consoles could be a way to drum up interest in that potential hardware. Maybe they're saying this has less to do with the PC and the PS5 and more to do with the rumor. For those unfamiliar, there's a rumor that the PlayStation 6 will launch alongside a PSP 2 or a PS Vita 2, some type of handheld, and maybe they're bringing that back, kind of like what they did with the Vita. That would be cool too. Or here's something better. Sony, if you really want to prove you for the people, why not do both? Why not launch the PlayStation 6 alongside the PSP 2? And when I buy a game, I own it on the PlayStation 6, the PSP 2, and PC. Come on, man. I'm trying to make y'all some money. The fans would go wild for that. They would go wild for that. Then you could play your games anywhere, bruh. While it remains to be seen what own is a strong word. Come on, man. I'm trying to put some positivity into the universe, man. Yesterday gave me some hope, so let me give you niggas some hope, bro. While it remains to be seen that what form cross-buy takes, if Sony pushes ahead with it, fans of the PlayStation Portal handheld can look forward to a major update for that streaming device. After a year in the beta, cloud streaming for the PS Portal has officially arrived and is open to all PS Plus Premium subscribers. The game library for cloud streaming has expanded to almost 3,000 games, and several new features have been added to help users play games in different streaming modes. They got to do something, especially with the rumors of the new Xbox being some type of hybrid PC. For those who haven't been keeping up, the rumors are that it will still be an Xbox with a traditional console UI, but then if you go into the settings, you can boot into traditional Windows and then also access Steam and other stuff. If they're trying to go for this kind of hybrid thing that could appeal to, because some people are arguing, well, why would Xbox want to do that? And I said, I could see that if they price it correctly, I could see that next Xbox hybrid gaming PC console appealing to people who are interested in getting into gaming PCs, who heard about the Steam sales and the fact that we don't have to pay for online, but they're too scared or lazy to build a PC. I can see a world where that could work, but it depends on how they price it, because the rumor is it also is supposed to cost $800 to $1,200. I don't know about that. At that point, just build a PC. But if Xbox is taking that route and they're trying to find some type of quality of life features that could appeal to people, Sony needs to do the same thing. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why competition is good. And this is why I said, it's cool to get our jokes off here and there, but at the end of the day, I don't want to see Xbox fail. I don't want to see Sony fail. Whenever I criticize them, I don't want to see Nintendo fail. It always comes from a place of love. I want to see you guys do better, because at the end of the day, when they do better and they compete, we, the consumer, get the best price and the best experience. How would you feel if the PSP 2 had no game slot and it was all digital? That'd be unfortunate, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think the unfortunate thing about that too, and let's not even put that in the air, but if they went all digital with the PSP 2, I could see a world where like they barely put any data on that shit. Like that should have like a fucking 10 gigabyte hard drive in that shit, like the Switch. Like, bro, big ass games. $650 max out the gate. I paid more for my graphics card than I did for my entire PS5. It's hard to get in on PC for the average person. Well, it depends on what graphics card you're going for, because to be fair, and I think this is where education comes into play, you don't have to have the latest and greatest. I had up until last year, I had a RTX 2080 that was just chugging along. That lasted me 6 years, and I still had no problem running any modern games off stream. People were cracking jokes, but I was only dropping frames when I was streaming. And for those who don't understand it, the reason for that is because when you stream a game, you're now beaming an image twice. So your PC has to be powerful enough to run a game 2 times over and over to stream it, unless you have a 2 PC setup where, you stream from one PC and game on another. But if your goal is just to game, even some of these older GPUs, they've been future-proof to last a really long time. So you have to understand, you chose to pay more for that graphics card because you wanted to future-proof it even more. You chose to do that, but you don't have to do that for like a starter build or whatever. Yeah, 1080p 60 FPS is fine, and that's the beauty of PC. It gives you so many different custom options to be able to, you know, deck out your shit how you see fit, work within your budget. See somebody in the chat says I'm still rocking a 2060 Super. See, bro, the PS Vita had its own version of SD cards. That shit was insane. Yeah, because you couldn't use a regular SD card and then they could charge it whatever they wanted for it. But yeah, it depends on the situation. It could work. Most people are still not gaming in 4K, so you don't need the top end graphics card. And then you have to also keep in mind too, the great thing about PC gaming is it's gotten to the point where a lot of games you can run in potato mode. They be having like mods, so if you really want to run a game, if you don't care about graphics and you just want to play the game, you can download a mod and run that bitch in potato mode if you need to. Yeah, my 3060 Ti should last me another 5 to 6 years. Real shit. And then especially if you take good care of it, you cleaning it. That's a lot of reasons some of y'all PCs be dying. That bitch can't breathe, bruh. Got all that damn smog in the damn PC. Got the damn the lint and shit. I just upgraded from my 3070 Ti and it ran everything that was optimized. Yeah, I got a 4080 Super last year. I'm not upgrading for... It depends on what my money's looking right, to be honest. But I would like to not upgrade for at least another 5 years. My last one lasted me 6 years, so I would like to hold this PC for 5 years, try to take care of it. But if my money looking right, I might upgrade, because for me, I'm blessed enough where I can make it a tax write-off because it's my job. But if this ain't your job, that don't matter. You can hold your shit for a while. Plus them 5090s, them bitches was ass. Yeah, play it on the N64 type graphics and shit. What other news I got for you? Oh, more Sony news, more positive Sony news. We just talked about the potential of a PSP 2. This bullshit that they released last year, the PlayStation Portal, which is just a streaming device, is basically a PS5 controller with a big ass screen in the middle that allows you to stream your PS5. For some reason, they cost $200. I don't know why. But anyways, Sony's PlayStation Portal handheld just got a lot more usable. Sony's PlayStation Portal handheld now fully supports cloud streaming, letting owners of the device play games like Astrobot, Fortnite, and GTA 5 via the cloud without having to connect directly to a PS5. That's right, for those who don't know how this works, your PS5 has to be online or in sleep mode, and then you could stream that PS5 to your PlayStation Portal. That is no longer needed. Now you can connect directly to the servers if you're connected to Wi-Fi, and you can use the PlayStation streaming service to just stream from their servers. So it's still a streaming only device, but it is giving you more options on how you can stream. Meaning that technically, let's say you got like a niece or a nephew and they want to play PlayStation games, but you don't want to buy them a PS5 or a PS5 Pro. Technically, you could buy them a PlayStation Portal for, because I guess they dropped the price, $150, $200, whatever it costs, and then their parents can get them the streaming service. Okay, that's a light W. It's just the only problem with that is because you don't actually own a PS5. You gotta always be online, which could be a hit or a miss. Yeah, you gotta have good Wi-Fi for that. Also, how does that work? If you buy a new PlayStation Portal and you don't have a PlayStation account beforehand, you gotta log in on the PC and do that shit, or does it let you do it from that? I wish this was an actual handheld. I hope they don't do this with this new handheld that they're working on. I keep seeing it on sale at Costco. It was tempting. I was tempted at one point. It was on sale. I saw it at Costco on sale for like $100, but I don't play my PS5 enough to warrant it. And then when I do play it, I'm sitting here on stream. But yeah, I'm not traveling enough to. I'd rather just get a Steam Deck, because then with the Steam Deck you can play Steam games as well. For those unaware, you can stream PlayStation games to your Steam Deck as well too. You can do the same exact thing. So you might as well just get that while also playing PC games. If backbone hurts my hands, then I know for a fact this will make me cramp. Okay. Man, they should have came out with a modern PSP that would have solved this whole problem. I'm hoping they do it. And can I say this too while we talking about that? If they do come out with a modern PSP, let's get back to the era of where handhelds were actually handhelds. You know what I mean, chat? You know what I mean? Everything is getting, like, to me, this is not a fucking handheld, dude. Another reason I don't like this thing is this screen design. I know they have cases for this, and then you could put a screen protector on it, but I'm afraid to like drop this shit, bruh. Like what I liked about the PSP or the Game Boy is you just slide it in your pocket like it's a wallet, bruh. This needs a clam. You need a case for this, man. This is gonna take up a lot of space in your travel bag when you hop on a plane. Like get back to the, I don't care if the screen is smaller. If anything, you know, the fact if the screen is smaller, that's good. Because then it doesn't have to blurt out the image in fucking 1080p or 4K, and you can focus on putting the power somewhere else. But you know, food for thought. Putting a damn boomerang in your bag, yeah, like it's obnoxious. It's obnoxious. But this screen is fucking humongous. Vouch, I had to go without this when traveling because it's like yo, we lived in an era where we played Game Boy and PSP, no problem. Like I don't know where this motto came from where we got to have these big ass screens. Like I would love to. Same thing with the Steam Deck. I would love to see the Steam Deck become even smaller because eventually they're gonna come out with a second one. Find a way to shrink that form factor down, improve the battery life. Come on, man, get it together. Get it together. We were too blessed with the DS. The DS was chunky. What you talking about? Now the DS Lite, like those skinnier ones that came out later, those were more portable. But the original DS, that shit was a fat boy. What else news I got for you? Portable technology always switches every 10 years between miniature and big as hell. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the handhelds now are in the same vein as the Sega Game Gear, just too damn big and the battery sucks. Marvel Games say they will continue to work with Spider-Man and Wolverine studio Insomniac for many years to come, which isn't a surprise based off the leaks that we got last year because they have hella games planned for the future, including Venom, Spider-Man 3. I think there was an X-Men game or something else. I don't know. There was something else coming down the line after that. And of course, they got Wolverine. Insomniac Games is currently working on its fourth Marvel game, Marvel's Wolverine, which is set for release in fall of 2026. Following the critically and commercially successful Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2, it's not yet officially announced, known what the studio has planned next. A hint may have been dropped by Marvel Games general manager Hawk Mintez. However, who recently stated that Marvel and Insomniac will continue to work together beyond the release of Wolverine. In an interview with Game Informer, Mintez was asked about Marvel's philosophy regarding video games. He replied that one of the company's responsibilities is to make sure its IPs is made available to the next generation of creators, continuing the tradition set by its comic books. We've spent upwards of a decade building the Marvel Games portfolio, and it's been fun watching the tapestry unfold game by game and to see players' reactions, he explained. There's been a tremendous level of thought that went into the games we decided to pursue. We've almost instinctively operated from this place of no regrets, meaning if we projected ourselves 20 years into the future and look back, we don't ever want to say we've made that game or why did we not push harder to make this game. There's a great sense of responsibility at play here. Okay, Uncle Ben's Rice. Marvel is almost a 90-year-old creative brand, yet it's as fresh as ever because during all that time, each new iteration grew up with Marvel, ultimately became creators and left their mark and then passed the torch to the next generation. We happen to be here now carrying this torch, and we feel we have a lot of depth and gratitude to deliver for the players and the future creators whose first encounter with Marvel might be one of our games. He also noted that when a partner creates a successful product with Marvel Games, it's essentially becoming a part of the family. He cited Insomniac as the perfect example of this, stressing that Wolverine won't be their last collaboration. Cap. I gotta call Cap. That sounds nice. That's PR talk. But the reality is this is a business. If Insomniac releases 2 Marvel duds in a row, they're cutting that license deal. Out of here. Do you think this is a yellow flag? I'm gonna get into my opinion in a second. Let me just read the rest of this. We also actively seek collaborators that want to take on the same mantle, he said. As is usually the case, we once complete a project together, they too become Marvel. Marvel's Wolverine with our dear friends at Insomniac Games, perhaps the epitome of this philosophy. We've been working together for more than a decade and developed such a shorthand across multiple Marvel Spider-Man games that when the time finally came to bring Logan back in spectacular and visceral fashion, it was obvious to everyone on our team that Insomniac was the perfect choice. It was our shared culture and values that brought us together, and we're so proud to continue collaborating for many years to come. All right, you asked me, do I feel like this is a yellow flag, green flag, red flag? With them saying they're doubling down on Insomniac Games and saying Marvel is here, we're going to collab and make more Marvel games. I don't know what to put this. I'm not going to put it in the green, but I'm not going to go as far as to say red or even yellow. But it has the potential to become a yellow or a red flag. Hear me out. I think that my issue with Insomniac is they haven't shown enough versatility. So I want to see. I think my opinion will change after Wolverine. I want to see what they do with Wolverine, because I'm worried based off of that leak footage that Wolverine will just be Spider-Man 2, but instead of swinging around, we're now climbing on walls with his claws. If you saw the leaked footage, look it up. It looked a little Spider-Man-y. It looked a little safe. So once I see, if they stick the landing with Wolverine, then I'll have more faith in them. But I'm more worried that Insomniac is a one-trick pony. And then if Marvel doubles down and says we want to do more games with them, they just start giving more IPs and more characters from the Marvel universe to Insomniac, and they all just become variations of Spider-Man. Captain America, Spider-Man edition. X-Men, Spider-Man edition. That's what I'm worried about. But I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm going to be fair and see what they do with Wolverine before I pass full judgment. What I will say is, in the meantime, if Marvel wants to stay in the world of video games, I do think they need to shop around their IPs. There's like 80,000 Marvel characters, right? Here's another thing, an issue I have with Marvel, right? They need to do more innovation and not play it safe. I think they need to find ways to keep the formula interesting, but Marvel has 80,000 characters, right? Why only work with Insomniac? Back in the day when Marvel and DC games were asses because they were all rushed. It was a quality issue, right? All you got to do is vet the proper studio before you give them the IP. Just do quality control on what studios you work with. Don't just work with Insomniac. In my opinion, why not give a Marvel character to Respawn? The people who made Jedi? Come on, man. These niggas made Call of Duty, the good Call of Duties, the original Infinity Ward. They made Titanfall. They made the Jedi series. Respawn has proven that they are a very talented studio that is very versatile. So why not give it to studios that are proven they can do things. Because like I said, they have 80,000 characters. And then here's another thing and this is more on the Marvel side of things, besides the studios. Shout out to Ab with the sub, appreciate it. I would like to see them give more characters chances that are a little bit more obscure. It doesn't have to be a D-list Marvel character, but maybe a game centered around a B-tier type of character. Yeah, Apex 2 as well, 4 bangers. Maybe a Marvel game centered around a B-tier area. Yeah, like a Moon Knight game or something like that.
So you are real.
Marvel Rivals has proven that it can work. A lot of characters that were never popular before have blown up because of Marvel Rivals. And I feel like a lot of people forget that a lot of Marvel's characters were not household names until the MCU. Iron Man was not a household name. Hawkeye was not a household name. Luna Snow was not a household name before Marvel Rivals. So like, as long as the game is good, they could raise the profile of a lot of different characters, which could lead to more things. A Luke Cage game, an Iron Fist game. Yeah, there's so many different cool characters they could do. Like, why, instead of just sticking to their S tier characters, why not go for that A or B tier game character type shit? You said Guardians of the Galaxy. There was a Guardians of the Galaxy game. You niggas didn't play it, and it was actually great, by the way. It was fucking great. Niggas said Guardians of the Galaxy. There was a Guardians of the Galaxy game. Criminally underrated. Guardians of the Galaxy played like a mix between Mass Effect and Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was really good. If you haven't played it, you can get it for cheap too. It was mid. That shit was not mid. That game was really good. That was a solid 8.5. That game was actually really good. Not the game, I mean the movies. Okay. You meant the movies, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy were nobodies before the movies. No, that's facts. We need a Hulk game. I'd argue Hulk is like an A S tier character, but like I would take a Hulk destruction type of game. That would be fun. Just a straight power fantasy. Yeah, just I want to see more from Marvel. Like dig deeper into the bag and give us games on characters that we don't expect. That's how you build brand loyalty and awareness for a character. You can't just keep doing more and more Spider-Man and more Wolverine. That was the problem with the X-Men movies in the late 2000s. The movies were called X-Men, but really it was fucking Wolverine in the X-Men. And to be honest, the only great Wolverine in the X-Men was that damn cartoon. Yeah, I said it. I'm still upset by how that show never ended properly. We need like a Storm game, something, bro. I don't know, man. Dark Souls Ghost Rider game. Hey, that could work though. That could work. fighting demons in hell and shit with your fire whipping shit, bro. Yeah, we needed that Black Panther game, bro. We needed that shit. We're still sort of getting one with the Captain America one, but we'll be keeping an eye on this, man. A Dice Hulk game. What games has Dice made besides Battlefield? I get where you're going with that because of the destruction. I wouldn't trust Dice though. I literally don't know them from anything besides Battlefield. Dice game. They made Battlefront, nigga. It said Battlefront. Battlefront is Battlefield with a Star Wars coat of paint. Cut it out. This nigga said Battlefront. Cut it the fuck out. That's the same game. Yeah, I said it. It's the same fucking game. Cut it out. Just put Space Wizards in that bitch. Mirror's Edge. Did Dice make Mirror's Edge? That was a long time ago. Dice Games, EA. Let's see, Dice Studios, R Games. I don't remember who made Mirror's Edge. Bro, why is the site loading like this? Let's open up that. Let's see. R Games. Oh, they did make it. Did they make the original? Did they make the original Mirror's Edge? Or did they make the sequel? Because the sequel was ass. Which one they make? Yeah, all their games, look at all their games are pretty much Battlefield. And even still, that's only one game. They made Midtown Mad. You guys remember that? Midtown Madness 3? They did both. Okay, so they made, damn, what happened with the second one then? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't trust Dice then. They kind of 50-50. Outside of, they can't even make a consistently good Battlefield. And then they won for 2 on Mirror's Edge. So yeah, I wouldn't give them a Marvel IP. I wouldn't trust them to make a different type of game. Midtown Madness was heat. I remember Battlefield Heroes. Yeah, Dice need to spruce up their resume a little bit. But then again, it's probably EA's fault why they can't make a different game, because EA like to just milk shit. Other news, Arc Raider reviews have dropped. Lots of 10s, lots of 9s, lots of 8s, lots of 7s. Not 7s, but 8s. The Open Critic is currently sitting at a 93 overall, and the Metacritic is sitting at an 87 overall. Somebody tagged me in a post. So, which, by the way, I highlighted on the stream all the time. Gaming is not dead. I'm showing y'all different games to play. I've given you lots of different genres. I streamed this game yesterday. I enjoyed it. Why is Darius Garland trending? Hold up.
To the idea of Shadow having a BBC, that means for every donation.
Oh, he's back this week. God damn.
Get the chance to glaze.
I don't know how you niggas managed to do the same shit at the same time. Oh, they're saying he's coming back this week from injury. Shout out to the Black Guru with the sub, and shout out to Kane Snow with the super chat. Appreciate you. I would give Iron Man to Avalanche Studios hands because of the Just Cause series. The destruction and the flying. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That could be fun. Just saw this on Twitter right now. Hold on 1 second. Keeping it in the realm of Arc Raiders though. Somebody, you got Garland on your team? Nah, but I was playing somebody who did. Somebody tagged me. Somebody tagged me in some shit about that. Oh, here it is. Ball Caesar said we got a gun and a ball. Gamer take. Ball and gun gamers. So apparently Shroud said, do not let Expedition 33 win Game of the Year over Arc Raiders. We got a ball and gun take.
That this game wins Game of the Year, by the way. Do not, dude. We got to make sure that this game wins Game of the Year. By the way, do not let that Expedition game win Game of the Year. Do not let it. Absolutely do not. We all have to band together to make this game win. Us multiplayer gamers are the minority. Okay, we are the minority being multiplayer gamers, but I believe we can win. I believe. You just need to tell everybody. I've never voted for anything ever, but I think I'm.
What I don't like about this video is he doesn't. So I disagree with him, but I'm also not going to be like upset by the choice. I get it. I don't. He's def trolling. I hope so. I don't agree that this should be Game of the Year, but I can understand why some people advocate for it. It's a good game, but like I'd argue the music alone, and like my issue is he doesn't advocate if he is being serious. Maybe he is trolling. He's not advocating for why it should be Game of the Year over Expedition 33, because I can make the simple argument that the soundtrack in Expedition 33 alone shits on Arc.
Going to
but anyways,
this year for this game.
I hope he's trolling for the simple fact that We always complain, not we, because y'all know I practice what I preach, but people always complain about the business practices in gaming. Motherfuckers is complaining right now, man. They ain't add no new features, no new story, no new gameplay to skate, but they add new skins every week. Y'all complain about the business practices in games all the time, and then a game comes along that's arguably probably the best game I've played since Elden Ring, since 2022. Immaculate music, immaculate story with amazing plots and twists, deep introspective thought had to be put. You have to, in order to enjoy Expedition 33 to its maximum. I think everybody can enjoy Expedition 33 on an elementary level, but to fully appreciate Expedition 33, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You do have to be a critical thinker. You do have to critically think about that story a little bit. Visually appealing. It's combat. It found a way to make turn-based combat interesting for a lot of different people. The character designs, the customization. There's so many things to like about that game. And the fact that it's only $50, it's a 40 to 60 hour adventure. They're adding a free update. It was made by 30 people. People complain that games aren't adding any type of value. There's no innovation. And here we have a game right here that, in my opinion, I'm comfortable in saying now that I pretty much played everything. I think Expedition 33 is probably the best game I played since Elden Ring in the last 3 years. Arguably probably one of the best games of the decade. And it's only $50 made by 30 people. No microtransactions, none of that goofy extra shit. We should be getting, whether you think Expedition 33 should be the game of the year or not, I think everybody should get behind it and root for it, because it would send a message to the industry that, hey, we see the value in this. Because one of the industry, like, there's a bubble in the gaming industry right now. I think it's part of the reason why so many game studios are trying to adopt AI. The bubble has made it to where they think that everybody wants these 1,000-hour open world adventures with shit all over the fucking map. More content with like these live service games. Like, no, we just want a good experience. A good experience I'll play over and over again. And if I don't, I'll revisit it when I feel like it. Yeah, it's straight up art. So like, I think everybody should be advocating for the game because it's great value for your dollar and it's pushing boundaries. The most important thing about Expedition 33 is it gave us something new that no other turn-based game has done. The interactive turn-based has been done before. This is why I always advocate for Legend of Dragoon. It's just a lot of you niggas ain't cultured enough. Y'all ain't played that shit. Y'all not ready to have that conversation. Expedition 33 falls under the tree of Legend of Dragoon. It's just a lot of people, y'all haven't played that game. What I will say is it does expand upon and make it better. And that's why I said I liked Expedition 33, because that was the game I've been looking for. If I never get a Legend of Dragoon 2, I'm like, all right, Expedition 33 is cool. It took that formula and expanded upon it. And because we haven't seen it in so long, it feels fresh and new, because sometimes you just need to be away from something long enough to miss it. That's why you need to stop looking at her IG story. Damn, glad to hear I'm not the only person who played that joint. It's a cult classic. Play that shit. Can we get a remake or something like that? He said, I can't get enough. So no, the RPG elements, the interactive turn-based, that's not new. It's not done very often. But yeah, I think that's why we should be advocating for it to win, because I think it just gave a lot of value. I equated it to Xenogears because of their combat. Shout out to Cosmos. That's another classic. You could tell these multiplayer gamers are starving for good games. Arc is good, but it feels like it's the hype right now. Yeah, they're starving. And you know, the worst part is these multiplayer ball and gun ass gamers are starving for a rich experience, but it's like the person who, you know, they need a home cooked meal, but they keep going to Taco Bell. Like, Taco Bell is cool. No, actually never. It's never cool because that's possum meat. But you get the point. Chick-fil-A is cool every once in a while, but sometimes home cooked chicken with some vegetables and rice is better, bruh, if you season that shit correctly. And I feel like a lot of with these multiplayer gamers is a lot of fast food gaming. And it's like, yo, sometimes you need something for the soul, bro. It's like you said, like, they're just thirsty for something to fucking win. Like, bro, this shit is not that great. Based off what I played yesterday with Arc Raiders, I get it. It's cool. But to me, it was like a 7.5, an 8. I'll play Arc Raiders if I'm not playing anything in the ethos or somebody in the crew is like, yo, hop on the game. Be like, all right, I'm not, because like right now, it's a battle in the group chat. If Siggy is the Battlefield guy, Siggy and JG are the Battlefield guy, Ethos and Chaos are the Arc Raider guys. Whoever says, yo, we need an extra for this game, that's where I'm going. But like, am I dying to play Orc Raiders? And like, it's okay, it's cool. I like that term, fast food gamers. 8 out of 10 is really respectable too. It is. Like, I'm not even saying it's bad, it's respectable. It's like it's I don't know about game of the year. Like, I don't know about that, bro. They got a Costco card, but stay in the food court. Yeah. No, that's a great analogy. These ball and gun gamers got a Costco card, but all they do is eat the pizza and the $1.50 hot dog. Like, that's cool. That's cool, but can we get something else? Oh, shit. I got the Digimon over. Oh, I forgot about, yeah. A lot of people was advocating for Digimon. We all know Pink Eye is game of the year. All right, buddy. You're done. That's fucking funny. But yeah, I've seen people say Digimon is lit too. I just fucked up my damn chat. There we go. Chicken bake ass niggas. So I hope Expedition wins game of the year. I'm comfortable saying I think now that I played Ghost of Yote, and based off what I've seen, I'm gonna play Ninja Gaiden 4 today. Ninja Gaiden looks good, but I don't think it's gonna be better than Expedition 33. I'm comfortable saying I think Expedition 33 is probably gonna pack up everybody